Hey everyone, the very popular and beloved former Oakland City manager Henry Gardner was named to replace Scott McKibben as the interim executive director of the Oakland Alameda County Joint Powers Authority. I was informed of that by a source about a few minutes ago, actually. Now, Henry is, without a doubt, the most successful city manager in Oakland's history. He has a long list of accomplishments. He is also the current interim city manager for Richmond. So someone asked me, well, how is he going to do both jobs? Well, this job with the JPA is really a part-time job. It really is a consultancy job, and which goes back into the whole issue of how the city claims Scott was regarded because he was actually a consultant with an independent contractor agreement. But I digress. Uh, with that, I'm also told that the Coliseum Authority will cease to exist once the Oakland Athletics deal is struck. Once the Athletics deal is struck to build a new stadium at Howard Terminal, that's it. The authority will cease to exist, and that will occur in 2024, thereabouts. So basically, it all adds up to one thing: sports in Oakland is dying because Henry is clearly there, and there's no intended insult at Henry at all, as a placeholder and a person to go to who is, uh, if you will, representative of the executive director's position. But the business of sports is not something that Henry has specifically done. He engineered the deal to bring the Raiders back to Oakland along, and appointed as a rapport as his deputy to really work out the details. But and he's an expert at bond financing, without compare. But in terms of the business of sports with sponsorships and negotiations of that type, uh, Henry, although he's a very smart guy and can get it in like 10 seconds, uh, doesn't come with that as an entrepreneurial skill set, whereas Scott has that as an entrepreneurial skill set. In other words, Scott can go out and engineer a deal with, say, with Ring Central, or work to get Roy Choi to be in the indoor football league. But all this opens more questions. What's going to happen to the Coliseum as we know it? Is the intent to simply now tear down what we used to call Oracle Arena since the sign is coming off? It's a very sad day in Oakland because Oakland is stripping its sports identity away at a time when other cities are picking up on sports as economic development. And not only that, to an even more sinister view, I will take, it's taking jobs away that people who don't have tech backgrounds can fill. And before you say, well, stadium jobs don't pay a lot of money, the average stadium position pays about $68,000 a year. And I understand it's still a poverty level in the Bay Area, but that's a lot better than many of the standard retail jobs uh, that have been offered. And not only that, retail jobs are being, uh, I will just simply say, killed by the internet and mobile, as you know. So sports, sports gambling is really the last best hope to form a sound economic development strategy for a city that wants to provide employment for those people, other than in manufacturing, and manufacturing to be taken up by automation, who want to make a decent wage, um, and have a good life. But Oakland has not thought that through at all. Oakland just sort of does things, it just on a whim. Just like this whole issue with Scott, it was just on a whim, literally. No logic to it. So anyway, that's the breaking news. More, and I'll follow up on this later to give Henry his due, um, as a legendary figure that he is.